Have you ever experienced a moment of intense déjà vu? A fleeting feeling that you've lived this exact instant before? Or maybe, just maybe, you've misplaced your keys, only to find them in a place you know you already checked. We often dismiss these little glitches as tricks of memory or simple absent-mindedness, but what if they were something more? What if they were faint whispers from a reality almost but not quite identical to our own? Could you, just for a moment, accidentally slip into a parallel universe? A place where the only difference is the location of your keys, or a world where a choice you made years ago went the other way? This isn't just a question for science fiction. It's a question that tickles the very edges of what we understand about the cosmos. The universe is vast, unimaginably so. Within this grand cosmic tapestry, we are just beginning to understand the fundamental rules that govern reality. This thought experiment takes us on a journey from the mundane to the magnificent. Join me, and let's explore the science of a universe, or universes, waiting to be discovered. Let's suspend our disbelief for a moment and follow the breadcrumbs left by modern physics. To understand the possibility of slipping into another universe, we first need to ask a fundamental question. What exactly is a parallel universe? The concept sounds like something straight out of a comic book, but it's an idea with roots in serious scientific thought. At its simplest, a parallel universe or alternate reality is a separate, self-contained universe coexisting with our own. Imagine our universe as a single bubble floating in a vast cosmic ocean. A parallel universe would be another bubble, floating right beside ours. It could be incredibly similar to our own, or it could be wildly different, with alternate laws of physics, different historical timelines. The possibilities are quite literally infinite. The key idea is that these other universes are fundamentally separate from ours. Think of it like a stack of papers. Each sheet is a universe, complete with its own stars, galaxies, history. The space between these pages represents a higher dimension, a concept our three-dimensional minds struggle to grasp, but one that mathematics allows for. There isn't just one single theory of parallel universes. It's more like a collection of related ideas, all emerging from different areas of physics. To truly grasp where the idea of parallel worlds comes from, we have to shrink ourselves down, way down to the realm of atoms and the particles that build them. This is the world of quantum mechanics, a place where the familiar rules of our everyday world break down completely. Here, particles like electrons don't have a definite location until we measure them. Instead, they exist in a superposition of all possible locations at once. Imagine a spinning coin. While it's in the air, it's neither heads nor tails, it's a blend of both possibilities. It's only when it lands, when we make a measurement, that it chooses a single state. The quantum world operates on this principle of probability and potential. This fundamental uncertainty is what makes the quantum realm so bizarre and so powerful. Why should our observation force the universe to pick just one outcome out of the many possibilities? This question bothered physicists for decades, and it led to one of the most audacious ideas in all of science. What if, at the moment of measurement, reality itself splits? Instead of the wave function collapsing into one reality, perhaps all possible outcomes actually happen. This creates a constantly branching tree of realities, where every possible outcome of every single event is realized in some universe. This means there's a universe where you wore a different shirt today, a universe where you took that other job, and even a universe where the dinosaurs weren't wiped out by an asteroid. The idea that the universe constantly splits into new versions of itself is called the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics. It was first proposed by physicist Hugh Everett III in the 1950s. Everett was troubled by the collapse of the wave function. He proposed a cleaner, grander solution. The wave function, he argued, never collapses. Instead, the entire system is part of the quantum state. The observer, the measuring device, the environment. When a measurement is made, the universe splits into multiple branches, one for each possible outcome. In each branch, the observer perceives a single definite result, unaware of the other branches. Think of it like this. You're at a crossroads. Turn left, turn right. Traditional QM. The universe flips a coin and you go one way, the other vanishes. Many worlds, reality splits in two. In one universe, you turn left. In another, a copy of you turns right. Both outcomes happen. Both versions are equally real. For every quantum event, spin of an electron, fusion of atoms in the sun, the cosmos branches. The number of worlds created every second is beyond astronomical. Many physicists take it seriously. It's not fringe, It's a contender for reality's true nature. These worlds are unobservable to us, split off by decoherence. But if they exist, are the walls between these worlds truly impenetrable? Science gives us the theories, but human experience gives us the stories. Throughout history, there have been strange, anecdotal accounts of people who claim to have experienced a glitch in the Matrix. These stories describe moments where the world felt slightly off. One common type, people driving or walking down a familiar road, then finding themselves in an unfamiliar landscape. The buildings are different, street signs are wrong, and there's a pervasive sense of disorientation. After a few minutes, or sometimes hours, they suddenly find themselves back on the familiar road with no explanation. Another recurring tale, the auditory slip. Hearing conversations or music from an adjacent room that isn't there. Sometimes the voice of a loved one who is miles away calls as if beside you. These moments are fleeting but deeply strange. Perhaps the most famous modern legend, the Beatles from Another Universe. A cassette found in the desert in 2009. The story and music went viral. Likely a hoax, but a perfect capture of our fascination with parallel worlds. These stories, misplaced objects reappearing and entire landscapes shifting, share a common thread, a temporary break from consensus reality. Science asks for evidence and repeatability, while these tales lean on personal testimony. They speak to a feeling that the world is more mysterious than it seems, the folklore of the quantum age. Among the many stories of interdimensional travelers, one stands out, the case of the man from Taured. July 1954, Haneda Airport, Tokyo. A well-dressed man arrived and presented a passport to customs. Officials were puzzled. The passport looked authentic. Visa stamps from previous visits, documents showing travel. The country of issue, Taured. Officials had never heard of it. Asked to point on a map, he pointed to Andorra. He insisted Taured was real, with a 1,000-year history. The hotel reservation no record. Officials detained him overnight while they investigated. 2 guards posted outside his upper floor door. The next morning, the room was empty. Guards checked the room. It was empty. The door locked from the outside, the window shut. He was simply gone. All his personal documents, passport, license, business papers, had disappeared from the security office. The story became parallel universe folklore. A seemingly documented person from a slightly different Earth. Not an alien world, but one almost identical to ours. The tale is a thought experiment that crystallizes our questions about the porousness of reality. When confronted with compelling stories like the man from Taured, a scientist's first instinct is to question. The scientific method separates what is real from what we want to be real. From a physicist's perspective, tales of slipping between worlds are almost certainly not evidence of parallel universes. The first line of inquiry is to seek more plausible, mundane explanations. Memory is notoriously unreliable. Misplacing keys, then finding them where you looked, is likely a simple lapse in attention. Inattentional blindness. The man from Taured is likely an urban legend. There are no official records or contemporary newspaper articles. Extraordinary claims lack verifiable, repeatable evidence. Science needs evidence that can be tested and confirmed by independent researchers. Even if many worlds is correct, it gives no mechanism for crossing over. The wave function branches, new universes are separate and decohere, unable to interact. Imagine 2 radio stations on different frequencies. You can tune to one or the other, not both at once. There is no known physical process that lets a person retune reality and slip branches. So what do physicists say? It's an extraordinary claim needing extraordinary evidence, and we have none. Scientists remain open to new discoveries, but currently attribute these tales to psychology or fabrication, not a glitch in the cosmic fabric. Given that physicists are highly skeptical, is the door to this idea completely closed? Could science ever allow for an accidental slip between worlds? One idea involves wormholes, bridges through space-time. In principle, microscopic wormholes could flicker into existence and for a fleeting moment connect realities. However, these would be smaller than an atom and exist for an infinitesimal fraction of a second. They would be fantastically unstable. Sending anything through would pinch them off. Another idea comes from brain worlds. If brains interact, they could, in theory, create ripples. Some models make big bangs from brain collisions. A gentler bump might blur boundaries, but the energy involved would be immense. Such an event would resemble a major cosmic explosion, not something a person would survive unnoticed. It would be like trying to walk through a soap bubble 1 billion times smaller than a grain of sand. Trillions of organized particles that make up a human cannot collectively tunnel into an alternate reality. There is no known mechanism that would permit a person to accidentally pass through and return unharmed. It's one thing for subatomic particles to behave strangely, it's another for macroscopic objects. The energy scales and forces involved make accidental crossover near impossible by our current understanding. We are born here, we live here, and physics suggests we are firmly anchored to our own page in the cosmic book. So where does this journey leave us? We've traveled from the simple curiosity of a misplaced object to the mind-stretching frontiers of quantum mechanics and cosmology. Science entertains the existence of other universes, but it offers no credible support for accidental travel between them. The walls of our reality, as far as we can tell, appear solid and impenetrable. The stories we hear are compelling, but they crumble under the rigorous scrutiny of science. Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. We are in the infancy of cosmic understanding. Perhaps one day we'll detect gravitational whispers from a nearby brain, or a particle that points to a hidden reality. For now, look around you. This reality feels solid and unique. But isn't it wonderful to imagine the library itself exists, filled with every story that could ever be told? What secrets are waiting in the unwritten pages of the cosmic book?